commit to reading research papers, and that's the only way to write a good research proposal, I said earlier. Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Edition, and this is Julius here. In this video, I'll take my time to talk about how to write a good research proposal. If you have been struggling to write a research proposal or not starting to write a research proposal, this video is for you. So first, let's talk about how to get a research topic. Okay. First of all, to get a research topic, the professor may recommend some for you, or you can get some from news. Maybe probably, for instance, in Ghana, maybe there's an issue going on right now and it relates to your background. You can take up that particular topic and work on that particular topic. Okay, and another thing is that, for instance, maybe where you are from, okay, your hometown, you know of any issue or something very interesting to look at, you can also look at that. Another source is from reading papers. Okay, if you read published research papers, you get to know of some recommendations. Okay, so for instance, if you take a research topic like this and go to the recommendation section, you can see a couple of recommendations that people have placed under that session. Okay, so take your time, read papers that is your interest. Then you look at the recommendation, okay, and you try to fill in that gap. For instance, let's say someone conducted a research, let's say an ecological research, the dry season. The person might recommend that another one is carried out in the rain season, that they can compare the result or bring it together and make it a complete project. So you can get some from there as well. So also from colleagues to your senior, those who have gone ahead of you, you can also get some from them. That's one another way of getting a research topic. Now talk about a research proposal. What's a research proposal? A research proposal is an official document that gives a detailed description of the intentions of a particular project. Okay, so this proposal talks about what the research want to address, what the research want to do, how it will do it, and what should be expected out of that particular project. Okay, so generally, thesis has 6 sessions, but this may vary based on your school or your field. So, for instance, I did forest resources technology at the Columbia University of Science and Technology. So there, we normally have 6 chapters for our research thesis. Okay, so out of that, chapter 1 and 3 forms the proposal. So the 1 is introduction, and the 3rd one is the methodology. Okay, and the 2nd one is the literature review. So some schools, as I said earlier, some schools, or based on a field, you might be required to add chapter 2 to your proposal, which is the literature review. So I'll take chapter 1 and chapter 3 and talk about each of them. Okay, and by the end of this video, you should be able to draft your own research proposal. And also to add up to that, for writing a research proposal, you might be writing to your department to be approved. Okay, that's to be approved for you to carry out your undergraduate or postgraduate research. Okay, so you have to obtain your master's or a degree. I'll take each session and talk about it. So let's take the chapter 1. Chapter 1 contains your introduction. Okay, so the introduction, and that we have the background of study. So this one will give a general information about your project. Okay, give a general information about your projects. For instance, I did ecological research, so I'll use that as an example. For instance, if you are working on birds, okay, you're working on birds, for instance, you in the Bible study you talk about what are bird, their current state, their function, why are they relevant, why are they important. I'll talk about the current news or the current trends about bird life. Just some general information, okay, about birds. And you can read this when you read research papers. Commit to reading research papers, and that's the only way to write a good research proposal, I said earlier. And I forgot something which is very important. The title of your research proposal should be precise. Okay, it should summarize the whole project. Okay, and these are the sections of a research title. It should contain the subject of study, or the variables. Okay, the variables are basically the subject, and also the location where it will be done, where it will be carried out. It should contain these important things, and it should be very precise and brief. For instance, let me say I want to work on TVET. TVET is technical and vocational education and training. Okay, I remember I was working on a proposal on that. Okay, so for instance, I want to look at the effectiveness of TVET in the central region. Okay, so the topic will be assessing the effectiveness of TVET in the central region. You see, I said the subject is TVET and the location, which is central region, and what is being done. Assessing its effectiveness, and I hope that is clear. If you have any question, you can put in the comment section, and I'm always available to answer those questions. Okay, so from the background of study, you go to problem statement. This is where you state your research gap. What is the problem? What is it that which has not been done that you want to do concerning a particular field? Okay, that's why I say that you can get research titles or researches through reading papers. Okay, from that you can find what people have not done, and that's what your research want to achieve or discover or find out. Okay, so talks about, so me that side I mostly call it a session of negative statement, because me, for instance, writing is I put in my mind that it's a problem and I have to talk about it, because if the problem is is stated very well, that will convince the reader to want to know what are the findings. Okay, so for instance, let's say I'm working on birds. I want to link that to Ghana, say for instance in Ghana. So I'll be like, the decline of bird population in central region due to Ghana activity is devastating. Okay, and I'll continue to say that that's good for you to read research papers. So I can say that Toku et al. Say that the current trends of Galamsey is a detrimental action, which is clearing of breeding grounds for birds, for instance. Okay, and states all those points or reasons why your research is a gap. Okay, that is very good. So right now in that section, you go to the justification. Justification talks about why your work is relevant. Okay, what will your work achieve? Why should your work be considered? Okay, for instance, if I'm still working on birds, for instance, I will be like determining or evaluating the impact of Galamsey activities on bird population in the central region can help to deduce better strategic management plans in order to control the effect of Galamsey activities on bird population, for instance. So it's like what your research will do. Okay, why is it important? Okay, that is what the justification ought to do. So have time for yourself and write it. And I advise that you write your own proposal. If you have issues, just talk to someone to help you out, but be involved in the proposal writing. Okay, so from there you go to the aims and objective. The aims and objective talks the aims and objective is in two sections. Okay, you have the aim and objective. Examples that the main objective, which sample call the aim, okay, and the rest is specific objectives. So you have one aim and you have objectives. So for the aim actually just restates your project topic. Okay. So for instance, if I'm working on TVET, okay, TVET, let's say that's TVET. I stated the meaning of TVET already. So I'll say that this study aims to evaluate the effectiveness of TVET programs in the central region. That's my aim. And now, the objectives. Okay, let me say I'll pick 3. Mostly some people advise you choose 3 and more, but 3 is okay. It's okay. So for example, the first one is to identify the various kinds of TVET in the central region. That's my first objective. The second one can be the impacts of TVET on youth in the central region. For example, that will be my second objective. I want to look at the impact. Okay, and the third one will be the challenges facing TVET in providing relevant industrial training, okay, or skills to its trainees. Okay, so that can be the third one.
Okay, so now let's talk about the hypothesis. Okay, the hypothesis is actually the prediction of the outcomes of the project or the results. Okay, hypothesis is basically the prediction of outcomes. Okay, so normally for the descriptive research, you don't add hypothesis. Okay, but for the quantitative research, okay, and also when I talk about the descriptive research, I'm talking about the qualitative research. Okay, so the opposite is the quantitative. For that one, we normally propose a hypothesis, which always be tested. You have the null and the alternate hypothesis. Okay, so for this one, as I started with the base and the TVET, I'll use the TVET I'll use the bed, but that one is much of the quantitative research than the TVET. Okay, so for instance, if I want to assess the impact of galamsey activities on the population in the central region, what I do is that I will hypothesize that what galamsey activities will not affect the population of best species in the central region. Okay, so that one is an hypothesis. So now you have to see the alternates. The alternate is just simple, is that galamsey activities will affect the population of best species in the central region. That's the alternate. And my professor advised me that I should cite the alternates, okay? And you have to read papers and get to know what paper has actually said that. Then you cite that paper if it's available. Okay, so after hypothesis is followed by justification. You see that earlier on I talked about the justification already, but this is the arrangement. That's another introduction. We should have the background study, we should have the process statements followed by aims and objective, then the hypothesis before the justification comes. Okay, so that forms the first part or the first chapter of the proposal and thesis. It's now the third chapter of the thesis, which is the second section of the proposal. That one talks about the methodology. Okay, this is where we state where your study will be done, how data will be collected, and the expected outcomes. Okay, so the first section of the methodology is the study area. This one talks about where the study will be done. Okay, so that talk about the place. For example, I can talk about the location of the place in terms of latitude and longitude, the average temperature, rainfall, humidity. You can talk about all these things. As a social research, you can go on to talk about the population, the population of the area, and any news that is concerning the place, which is related to your subject of study. Okay, so you can talk more about it and can see other people that have written about study area and look at how it is done. And if you want to get more info, some study areas, your work might be the first work to be done over there, so you might struggle to get things to say about that place. Okay, but if some work has been done over there already, just go online and type that particular location. Let's say it's central region. Now I want to work on beds. I'll type central region and command beds, or even if not beds, you can get top papers that are published on central region, and they talk more about central region, for instance. Okay, then you get more to write about it. And possible, you can include the map. Okay, but normally the reason why we don't consider a map is that probably because of now before you're starting the work, you might not have created a map yet, a study map yet. So that one is moving up like at the beginning of your proposal writing. Okay, so from there you go to the data collection. How data will be collected? Okay, so based on the kind of research that you are going into, the social research, you might consider using questionnaires, okay, interviews, focus group discussions. Okay, if it's the ecological, or let's say a quantitative data, you might talk of measuring some variables. Okay, so I talk about, let's say for instance, if you use a random sampling, you use a stratified random sampling, for instance, let's talk about all these things. And the questionnaires too, that's for the social researches. You have to state it very well. No, you have questions have sessions. For instance, you have the closed-ended questions, you have the open-ended questions as well, which have been coded. Okay, and you can read more about how it is done, and you get to understand more. And also cite your methods. What kind of method are you using to collect your data? Cite is very well. Okay, yes. So that's that for the data collection. And it comes to the data analysis. Okay, so that place you see how your data will be analyzed, the kind of software that you'll be using, the kind of models you'll be using. Okay, you have to set all those things. Okay, so if I'm taking the bed data, for instance, if I take it first, I'll say that the data collected will be analyzed using past and Excel. Okay, then you talk about the normality test. Okay, you test for the normality of the data, whether if the data is normally distributed or not normally distributed. Okay, and for that one, you can use separate test or Mungo span of test, for instance. Okay, yes. So that's that for the analysis. Okay, and you have to cite all these methods that you're using inside. For instance, let me take the quantitative analysis, for instance. Okay, so for instance, if we test for the normality and realize that the data is not normally distributed, you have to use what a non-parametric approach. If you let's say, let me take the quantitative research. Okay, for instance, that one, after test for normality, the results will show that your data is normally distributed or not normally distributed. So for that one, you have to use a parametric or non-parametric approach. If it is normally distributed, then you have to use what? Parametric approach. Okay, read more and get to know more about assessment because there are different fields, so I can actually delve into all of them. Okay, and so from there, then you go to your expected outcomes. Okay, what should be expected? And something that is a very good technique, something that should be easy for you. Okay, you just have to rewrite your objectives. For instance, if I see that the different types of species, the different types of bird species within the central region will be identified. Let's say that my first objective is that to determine the different species of birds in the central region. My expected outcome will be stated as at the end of this study. Okay, then I'll bring column over there before I'll bring the first expected outcomes. Then I'll be like the different species of birds in the central region will be determined. See, I mean it will be determined, but the objective it was to determine. But in the expected outcomes, I bring the to be determined, or sorry, will be determined at the end of the sentence. Let me make it an expected outcome. So you can do all for the 3 or more objectives that you have. So each objective must correspond to each expected outcome. Okay, and when I'm done, to some people would demand that you add budgeting. Okay, the budget for the work, but normally the expected outcomes ends the second section of your proposal, which is the chapter 3 of your thesis. Then with that, we are done with the proposal. And also you have to add the budget if it is required. Well, as I said earlier, this might vary based on your school or your field. Okay, they require, or maybe you are applying for funding. You have to add the timeline, how data will collected, how to analyze. I mean, all stages of the research. Okay, or if not, you just have to ignore the budgeting and the timeline for the project. Yes, so when you're done, you have to add your references. That one is compulsory. After you're done with your work, you have to add references to your work. And reference to it should be arranged in alphabetical order, all of them, and should be indented. Okay, let's say if the first reference, let's say reference, you take 2 lines. Okay, the first line should start from where the other text has started from. Then the second line will be indented, and also the reference time might vary. I use APA or MLA or Harvard or any other one, but know which one your school requires or your department requires before you proceed with whatever you want to do. Yes, so that is it. So and also for the general formatting, double space the whole text, I mean the whole work, and justify the whole work. Okay, and for each chapter, bring it to a different page. Okay, and the front page, the first page, you have to add the school name, the department, the topic, and your name. Okay, over there, and your index number over there. That's how it should be done. Also, we'll try as much as possible to add table of content. Okay, think out how to make a separate video on how to make a table of content, because I've tried to watch some online, but they are complex. But there's a simple that I can do that, which I will share in another video. Okay, if you need any help with anything that I have not been able to explain in this video, kindly put in the comment section below and I will address that. I know you guys are about to. I know some of you are yet to submit a proposal and get evaluated before you start your project work. So let me know if you need any help with that. And I believe you find this video helpful, and I know you will. And don't be selfish and keep this video. Share it with your friends, share it with classmates, share it with your class, and let them get to understand this whole concept. Okay. So I hope you find this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Stay blessed.